miles an hour, likes to use her drop and her rise out of the zone, get hitters to chase. But you mentioned it, Gray. She's going to have a strong night against this Tennessee offense.
Kiki Malloy fouls off the first pitch, and we're underway here in T-Town. And what a way to start for that Tennessee offense with Kiki Malloy, the two-time All-American, preseason All-SEC selection. Tons of accolades for the graduate student from Woodinville, Washington. And you see where Malloy ranks in Tennessee history: first in home runs, second in runs, total bases, and stolen bases. Always a threat to reach, and once she reaches, she can run.
And what's so impressive to me about those career ranks is you're talking about one of the blue bloods in college softball with Tennessee. They've had so many great players come through that program. Madison Shipman, who we'll see on the call tomorrow, but a lot of great faces, and Kiki Malloy has written her name in their history.
Beaver trying to get the inside corner. 2-2.
This is the pitch that Beaver is going to want tonight. Right on the black. That's her rise ball under those hands.
And now the count runs full. Well, Malloy has had success in her career against the Crimson Tide, a career .320 average against Alabama. 4 RBIs, couple homers. Had that triple in the SEC tournament a few years ago to start off the game. Payoff. Ball 4, and Kiki Malloy reaches with the leadoff walk.
Kiki Malloy just showing off her experience in this at-bat. It's what makes her such a good leadoff hitter. She has so much power, but she was 0-2 in that at-bat. Takes some close pitches, knows the zone, works her way on for Zeta Pooney.
And as I said, Malloy a threat to run, 22 of 25 in stolen bases. And ball 1 to Pooney, the senior from Carson, California, the transfer from Oklahoma. First team all-conference last year, second team back in 2022. Had off-season surgery, but is working back and has been really improving the batting average throughout conference play.
Zeta Pooney is such a key hitter in the Tennessee offense because of the way she protects Kiki Malloy. She's another power threat. You can't make a mistake to her, and if you decide to put Malloy on, she's right behind her.
Well, the Alabama crowd wanted that one. 2-1.
Kayla Beaver struggling to establish the zone on that inside part of the plate early in this ball game. She's going to keep throwing it there all night.
Pooney lifts that out to left. 2 on, nobody out for Tennessee, and Malloy will dig for third. Pooney takes second. Not only 2 on, but 2 in scoring position to start the game.
This is a great coaching decision from Karen Weekly. She goes with the hit and run. Zeta Pooney is swinging all the way. It's low, but she gets her barrel to it enough to drop it out in left field. And because Malloy is going on the pitch, she's going to take third. Pooney will sneak in behind her and take second. Now you've got 2 in scoring position with no outs for the player we highlighted, McKenna Gibson.
Leads the team in conference play RBIs. Here's Gibson. The junior from Santa Clarita, California. Second team All-American last year, first team All-Conference. Overall in the season, 11th in the SEC with those 37 RBIs. And you see in conference play what Gibson has done. Top 5 and runs driven in, homers, total bases. Trying to cash in on a chance here in the first. Gibson high in the sky to left. Johnson will make the catch, colliding with the wall. But it's certainly deep enough to score Malloy, and Tennessee takes the lead.
This is all that McKenna Gibson needs to do with a runner on third. Just lift it out to the outfield, gets an inside pitch, drives it out in the green, and it just keeps carrying to the wall for Jenna Johnson. Nice job by her to stay with it, but that's going to score Kiki Malloy every time.
Riley West takes ball one, and you just saw that graphic flash on the screen. This is the
Suns.
One out to Riley West is in there for a strike. The senior from Eastvale, California, having the best season of her career, her head coach Karen Weekly told us. That's fouled away. Got her. Beaver with her first strikeout of the night. 2 down.
This is why it's so important for Kayla Beaver to get ahead of batters. When she gets 2 strikes, she can do this. It's a great rise ball. She gets underneath it, has that late break, gets Riley West swinging. And this is a different situation when you've got 2 outs.
In steps Sophia Nugent. She'll take strike 1. Another Oklahoma transfer in this lineup. Out of California, Seal Beach, her hometown. Hitting .370 in away games in conference play. And Nugent will call time to go chat with Karen Weekly. The head coach for the Lady Vols, 23rd season in Knoxville, 3rd as the solo head coach after her husband Ralph retired. 8 Women's College World Series appearances, 3-time SEC Coach of the Year, including last season. Trying to get her team once again back at the top of the SEC once the regular season comes to an end. Oh, 2.
Seeing Beaver settle in more and more as this inning goes on. Her spots are getting better. Her pitches are moving a little bit more.
The 1-2. Got her. Back-to-back strikeouts for Beaver. Stops the threat, but Tennessee's on the board after. Well, Johnson and that entire offense will need to be sharp against Peyton Gottschall. Second year of a Tennessee program after transferring in from Bowling Green. This is a 2-headed monster on this pitching staff, and Gottschall is as fearsome as anybody in America.
Gottschall has that elite spin. She'll throw it in the mid-60s, but she's also just a dog in the circle. You're going to see her work quickly throughout this game, likes to go at hitters and control the tempo of the game.
Gottschall 4th in the SEC in ERA. First in strikeouts looking as she goes ahead 1-2 on Kinley Cahalan. sophomore from Trussville, Alabama. Just under 300 on the year. Hit 267 in the 5 games last season against Tennessee.
See Gottschall throw that curveball into lefties. She likes to do that. She's been moving it up as well, changing that eye level. Just an elite pitcher in all regards, but so much spin on her curve and her rise. And you're already seeing Kinley Cahalan a little bit off time. She's early. I would guess that's from the preparation that they put in for Carlin Pickens, the 70-mile-per-hour hurler that Tennessee has.
Yeah, that's what makes this two-headed monster so monstrous. Both pitchers are excellent and both do something completely different.
It's what makes it so hard to prepare for, because you get in, you turn your pitching machine up to 72 miles an hour, try to get your hands there, and the next day you're back down 64, working a curve, working a rise. It's difficult to prepare for both of those pitchers. And Pickens has generally been the Friday night starter for Tennessee, so I'd imagine that Alabama was expecting her to start tonight.
Cahalan tomahawks that to right, but it's caught by Panel for out number 1.
It's a nice in-bat adjustment, though, from Kinley Cahalan. We talked about she was early, hitting it a little bit on the end, and there she gets it enough on time to hit it out into right field, stung it pretty well. And you can use that as an offense to get excited when your leadoff batter makes good contact.
In steps Jenna Johnson, graduate student from Franklin, Tennessee. As mentioned, swinging it well of late. 467 average in the last 5. 250 career average against Tennessee. That's hit foul.
This demeanor that you're seeing here is exactly what I meant when I called Gottschall a dog in the circle.
Johnson lifts that out to right. Panel there yet again, 2 gone.
Can see her walking around, commanding the infield, owning the circle. And her curveballs are in great location right now. It's low, it's at the knees, outside. Gets Johnson to hit it off the end of the bat for out number 2.
And you see how Gottschall's been doing lately. No runs allowed in the last 19 innings pitched. Has been excellent against ranked teams this season, an ERA under 1. And a first pitch ball to Kendall Clark. Junior out of Iowa, transferred in from Des Moines Area Community College. Clark, a player that Patrick Murphy has been really impressed by this season.
That's why he's moved her up to the 3 spot today, because she hates to lose. You can see it in her eyes. She shows up, wants to get a hit, and she's really come up to speed at the D1 level really quickly.
See what she's done in the last 7 games. A couple 3-run homers in that stretch. Also the niece of Dallas Clark. Certainly good genes.
Absolutely, but you can just tell the energy she brings on the offensive side. When she gets a double, she's screaming, she's excited, she's trying to fire up her team, and that's the energy that Alabama needs to get things going in their offense.
She holds off there. Full count.
It's a really close pitch by Peyton Gottschall with 2 strikes. But we've seen the umpire establish a pretty tight zone early in this game, not giving much in the river off the plate.
A late swing for Clark, and Gottschall fooled her.
That entire night, Tennessee had a great game. They showed up, took the lead late, and then they decided to pitch to Bailey Hemphill with Alexis Mack on base, and Hemphill hit a 2-run homer, and the rest is history. But every time these two teams meet, especially when it's in the postseason, it's going to be a good game. These are 2 storied programs, lots of history.
And you see Tennessee trying to repeat as SEC champs. Won the crown last season. Prior to that, the run of Florida-Alabama switched up with Arkansas. Tied last one at 21.
This just speaks to the growth of this conference. Arkansas being the first school in a while, other than Florida and Alabama, to win the regular season crown. And Tennessee had kind of had some down years there for a little while, but they have restored that program as a top contender in the SEC.
That's a ground out to Broadfoot, who will tag Panel for out number 1.
A little bit of an excuse me swing here. Just drives it in the ground. Emma Broadfoot, nice job getting that one and holding on to it.
Now in steps Destiny Rodriguez. Sophomore from Live Oak, Texas. Trying to get things rolling. 0 for 13 in the last 6 games. But 2 for 4 all time against the Tide. In the air to right, Kendall Clark will run in and make the catch for out number 2.
This is a good inning for Kayla Bieber. This is what she wants to do. She wants to get you to miss hit. It's that rise on the inside part of the plate that she takes up under the hands of righties. She'll get the swing and miss, but she'll also get miss hits like the ground ball and the pop-up we've seen here in the second.
And now she'll face the senior from Mission Viejo, California, Julia Kutsoyanopoulos, transferred in from Arizona, taking a walk after that one.
This never feels good as a batter, especially when it's your first swing of the ball game right into your ankle. I know she wasn't too happy about that one.
She'll step back in after a little walk. A lot of experience for Kutsoyanopoulos, played in the 2020 Olympics with Team Italy. All time against Alabama, 2 for 15 with a couple RBIs. Back to Beaver. She'll fire it to first. 2 in the inning.
Situations hasn't been able to come through. She's a big part of this lineup that they need to get going heading into Mayhem.
Sophomore from Kindred, North Dakota. Did have a hit last year against Tennessee, 1 for 2 all time. But you're exactly right. Postseason is nearing. Just 2 more weekends, including this one, in conference play. Popped up. And it's handled by Nugent for out number 1. And then you've got the SEC tournament and then the NCAA tournament. And this weekend, important for the Crimson Tide. 12th in the RPI, great strength of schedule at 7 in the non-con SOS inside the top 40. trying to rack up some more of those RPI top 25 and top 10 wins. Tennessee at number 7 in the RPI. Alabama right now, as Bailey Dowling takes the ball, in a good spot to host, but you don't want to take more losses down the stretch and put that in question.
Absolutely, and you want to control your own destiny when it comes to postseason. You don't want to put anything in the hands of the committee for them to potentially go a different direction. And so it's important for Alabama to show up this weekend. See there the resume for Patrick Murphy, his 26th season. Lots of wins under his belt, lots of NCAA tournament wins. Been to the World Series 14 times. You know he wants to go back for a 15th time this season with Team 28.
The watch is on as Bailey Dowling works it to 3-0. She'll take a strike there. Dowling, the senior out of St. Joseph, Illinois. 4 hits all time against Tennessee. 3 were home runs. And the count runs full. Back to your point, though, the best thing on the Alabama resume is that there really isn't a bad thing. No real bad loss. South Alabama 32 in the RPI. That's the lowest RPI ranked loss for the Tide resume. But Patrick Murphy looking for some more of the good.
You're right, and it's every year you don't know what the committee is going to focus on. Sometimes it's top 10 wins, sometimes it's top 25. You have no idea, and obviously, as a team, you want to win every game. They're thinking about winning every single game, but for us softball analysts, we're thinking about every direction for each team, and for Alabama, a win against Tennessee this weekend would be big.
And that's a nice at-bat for Bailey Dowling. First hit of a night for the Tide, and there's a runner aboard here in the second.
Dowling does a good job of just letting this curveball travel, let it get deeper, cuts the spin on it, takes it out to left field. It's exactly how you do it.
In steps the Texas A&M transfer, Riley Valentine. Sophomore out of Phoenix. Has taken over the catching role with Marley Giles out since the Kentucky series. That's ripped foul. Swing and a miss. Strikeout for Gottschall after the hit. 2 gone.
That's what Peyton Gottschall does best. Works her curve early in the at-bat to get ahead, and then uses that rise ball up at the chest of Riley Valentine. Swings up at it, can't catch up. Now Gottschall's working with 2 outs.
Against Emma Broadfoot. First pitch in play, and backing up is Mueller, who will make the catch. Alabama strands a runner, and we go to the third with the Lady Vols. The junior from Chapel Hill, Tennessee, and this is a matchup with layers. Mueller, a transfer from Middle Tennessee, who played Alabama last year in regionals, but Mueller also faced Kayla Beaver when she was on Central Arkansas a season ago.
Yeah, Central Arkansas was in that regional as well. That's where they met, and Laura Mueller had herself a weekend in that regional. She showed up, did really well, and was a key for Middle Tennessee making it to the regional final and putting out Kayla Beaver in Central Arkansas. And a lot of people thought that Central Arkansas was going to win that regional, but they weren't even in the final. So Laura Mueller, nice job, and now she's made her way to Tennessee, playing in the SEC, and she's done well for them as well.
Hitting .305 on the year. In the game specifically against Alabama in that Tuscaloosa Regional, Mueller hit .333 with a couple homers.
Yeah, she's got the power. She had 3 home runs in 1 game earlier this season.
Two. Popped foul. High in the sky out to right. Kendall Clark will track it down for out number 1.
We're seeing Kayla Beaver use her curveball in this game as well. Usually very heavy on the rise and the drop, but she's working that curve in as well to keep these hitters off balance.
And now the chess match as Kiki Malloy steps in for the 2nd time. Malloy, first pitch out to right. Clark will make the catch.
It's a good hit ball by Kiki Malloy, stung out to right field, but that's a win for Kayla Beaver. Any way that you can keep Malloy off the bases.
Now in steps the one lady ball batter with a hit tonight, Zeta Pooney, and she'll have 2. 2-out single for Tennessee here in the 3rd.
Zeta Pooney is so solid every time she gets in the box. Very simple, hits it through the 5-6 hole, has her 2nd hit of the day. This is a large reason that we've seen Tennessee do so well in conference play. I'm not going to say they had a slow start, but they did lose some games that I think a lot of people expected them to win coming off their season last season. And Zeta Pooney's been a large reason for that.
But Kayla Beaver gets McKenna Gibson to ground out and in the threat. 8-9-1 due up for Alabama, and Callie Hevlin sends the first pitch she sees right back up the middle.
Callie Hevlin came up ready in this at-bat. I'd imagine she talked to Bailey Dowling, found out what she saw, lets a curveball get deep, and that's the key against Peyton Gottschall because her spin is moving so tightly that it makes you think the pitch is coming a little bit faster than it is. You've got to let it travel, let it get there, and hit it right back up the middle.
Lauren Johnson fouls back the bunt on the first pitch. But Alabama with an opportunity here in the 3rd as the freshman from Franklin, Tennessee tries to move Hevlin into scoring position. A humid night in Tuscaloosa for game 1 of this series.
It's a timing violation on the batter. It's a strike.
Oh, and Lauren Johnson did not get back in the box in time. It's now 1-2. And Patrick Murphy has questions.
I think what he's arguing is that there's no clock on the scoreboard for Lauren Johnson to look at, so how would she be able to see that?
Well, the bunt now off, and Johnson takes that one high for ball 2. They'll check. She did not go. Full count.
I'm interested to see what Gottschall goes with here on 3-2. Does she go rise for the swing and miss, or does she go back in the zone with that curve?
She missed inside, and that's a walk. 2 on for Alabama with nobody out. And up comes the top of the Tide order.
This is a great at-bat by the freshman Lauren Johnson. She could have got outside herself.
But a chance with Kinley Cahalan at the plate.
If you're Alabama in this situation, you want Kinley Cahalan at the plate. She's been the clutch player all season long. Found a hit when she needs it.
And we didn't mention this, but Peyton Gottschall, as Karen Weekly comes out, did not have a ton of success last year against the Tide. A 4.05 ERA on a hard hit ball out to right. (3-0). Batters on the year hitting .500 on 3-1 counts against Gottschall. And Cahalan lobs that out to left. What a catch from Riley West. One down.
Riley West gets a great jump on this ball in the left center gap. She's got speed on her, lays out and grabs it. Drops it on the transfer for sure. She secured that catch. Nice job and a momentum change for Tennessee. If that ball drops, Alabama's feeling it, but now Tennessee's feeling like they've got their feet back under them in this inning.
First pitch foul from Jenna Johnson, who also flew out her first time up. And this Tennessee team has been playing great defense in conference play, first in the league in league play fielding percentage. That was something you talked to Coach Weekly about before the game.
Yeah, I was asking her because they're middle of the pack overall defensively, but in conference play, they're sitting at the top, and just asking what's been the difference. And she mentioned she was moving people around in the non-conference, but now they've kind of solidified that defensive lineup and people really taking ownership over their positions.
Johnson loops that. This will be a tough play for Rodriguez. She'll make it in time, but the out moves both runners.
Jenna Johnson gets one up above her head, gets jammed. And Peyton Gottschall has done a great job in this inning of coming back in a tough situation, getting 2 outs. And now she's 1 out away of getting out unscathed.
First pitch strike to Kendall Clark, who struck out her first time up. It was the 50th pitch of the ball game for Gottschall. One and two.
You can just tell Kendall Clark is not letting it travel enough. Again, it's that tight spin that deceives your eyes a little bit, and you've got to let it get deep.
Two. Got her! Peyton Gottschall gets out of 4-5-6 will face Beaver, starting off with Riley West. Strikeout victim her first time up.
There's that off speed from Kayla Beaver that we don't see very often, but she'll drop it down to about 60 miles an hour. And that's been a pitch that she's thrown more recently, so not a lot of film on it.
Yeah, Beaver utilizing a lot of a toolbox tonight against this Tennessee squad that is so balanced offensively. Feels like anybody at any time can come up with the big hit. But Beaver gets West again. One away.
Riley West just not seeing the rise ball out of the hand of Beaver very well tonight. This one a little bit lower, closer to the zone. But another swing and miss for a second strikeout.
And third for the game for Beaver. Nugent, first pitch in the air to right, and Clark will run in for out number 2. Here's Taylor Panel. First pitch, fair ball, down the left field line. But Panel will be held to a single. Another 2-out hit for Tennessee.
You could tell Taylor Panel went up to bat looking for that inside pitch from Beaver. Steps in the bucket a little bit, hits it right down the left field line. Nice job by Jenna Johnson to hold her to a single, but a good piece of hitting.
Now Destiny Rodriguez, who flew out her first time up. Rodriguez out to center. But there's Lauren Johnson to end the frame. Kayla Beavers, the bracket comes out.
I agree with you, and I think if they go on to win the SEC and potentially win the SEC tournament, and you think about the eye test and what you're seeing with what Tennessee's putting on the field right now, I think we're looking at a team that's top 5, definitely looking to host a super regional, and of course hoping to make it back to the World Series again this year.
Fouled off by Dukeshire. Abby Dukeshire fouled out her first time up. Another thing helpful for that Lady Vol resume, the KPI that the committee will be using as a tool, a new tool in the selection process, and Tennessee number 3 in that metric. That's a little bit different than the RPI. Strikeout for Gottschall, 1 down.
Gottschall working that curveball tonight. She uses it with 2 strikes, goes away on the chalk. It's Abby Dukeshire swinging. But I told you at the beginning of the game, Peyton Gottschall's a dog. You saw it last inning.
Oh, that's misplayed by Gibson. And Bailey Dowling reaches for the 2nd time tonight.
This is mishit by Bailey Dowling on the end of her bat. It's a slow developing play. McKenna Gibson goes to get it, and instead of going to get it with her bare hand in her glove, she tries to toss it with her glove on the transfer and loses it. Allows Dowling to reach with 1 out.
In steps Riley Valentine. She'll take a first pitch strike. Strikeout victim back in the 2nd. I mentioned the KPI. Again, a formula that has been around, but the committee using it as a reference this year, designed to assign value to every game played during a season. As Valentine lifts that out to center. Malloy is there. And it's interesting, each team's value for each of their games in the KPI averaged over the course of a season, meaning that every game played counts the same, RPI a little bit more weighted. So just another tool at the disposal of the committee, which I don't think anyone is mad about.
Absolutely, and I think if you are a fan of good softball, which we are, you want the committee to get it right. You want them to set it up with a really good tournament, but where the teams who have had great seasons are rewarded for it and put in a position to host a regional, host a super regional, because that's why you try to compete all season long, is to put your team in the best position to get back to Oklahoma City, and having more metrics, having things to look at can never hurt. But again, we talked about it earlier. We have no idea what they're going to weight and what's going to mean more than other metrics. So who knows, but it's going to be so exciting, as it always is, to see how it plays out. I'm always on the edge of my seat on Selection Sunday.
Oh, you know I am.
Absolutely.
With all my charts and whatnot. 2-1 to Emma Broadfoot. Misses inside, 3-1. Ball 4. Second walk of a night for Gottschall. And 2 on for the Tide, with Callie Hevlin stepping in.
Gottschall loses Emma Broadfoot to a walk on this inside curveball. And I've mentioned that it's been a tight zone, but some of these pitches from Gottschall just, in reality, aren't super close. That's about 3 inches inside.
And I was wondering if Patrick Murphy would do this. He'll send in a pinch runner for Dowling at second. That's Kinley Pate. I think he knows, like any coach in the SEC, if you've got an opportunity on a base hit to send the runner at second, you have to do it. So speed in at second base with Callie Hevlin stepping in. An error on Gibson and a walk has put 2 on. And Hevlin pops up the first pitch. Who's got it? Kutsoyanopoulos will make the catch and end the threat. 8-9-1 for Tennessee in the 5th. Julia Kutsoyanopoulos grounded out her first time up. And one change for the Crimson Tide in the field. Abby Ducher has moved over from the DP spot to second base for Hevlin. Now a 3-0 count for Beaver against Kutsoyanopoulos.
Beaver struggling a little bit to find the zone right now. You never want to put the leadoff runner on in an inning.
Well, and something Patrick Murphy talked about, wanting to eliminate the freebies, and it was a while ago, but that lone run in the first was scored by Kiki Malloy, who reached on a walk.
And that's the key to any game, right? Offense is really tough in the game of softball, finding consistency on the hitting side, but your pitching and your defense has got to be consistent every single game for you to have success and contend for a championship. And a large part of that is keeping the freebies away.
And that's the only walk of a night for Beaver, but again, to the point that you just made, you don't have to walk everybody, but sometimes that one walk can be the difference.
It always finds a way to come back and haunt you when you put somebody on base, even in the first inning, first batter of the ball game.
Another payoff. Kutsoyanopoulos hammers that out to right all the way to the wall. She'll slide in for a leadoff double here in the 5th.
a walk is the least of Julia Kotsogianopoulos' worries right here. She's going to get herself a double. This pitch low and in. So much power. She takes it to right center field, bounces it off the wall, starts this inning off with a runner in scoring position. That's exactly what you want from your 8-hole hitter when it brings up Laura Mueller, who can hit home runs, and she's going to be followed up by Kiki Malloy.
Here is Mueller. She'll show bunt and take it high. Flew out her first time up. Mueller does have one sacrifice bunt on the year. Tennessee is a team last in the conference in sack bunts. Don't do it a whole lot.
A sack bunt right here is an interesting decision, but I think what Karen Weekly is thinking is that if I can get a runner on third, I'm looking at a sack fly situation instead of having to get a hit to score her, and that's exactly how they scored that first run.
Well, perhaps no need for it. Now a 3-0 count for Mueller. And there's ball 4. 2 on, nobody out for Tennessee as 8 and 9 reach to set up Kiki Malloy.
On deck.
Yeah, the Lady Vols are in as good a spot as you could wish, but Kiki Malloy has struggled away from Knoxville. A .229 batting average in road and neutral games. Does not have an RBI this year in an away conference game. Oh for 1 with a walk and a run scored. Oh 2. Malloy holds off.
Kayla Beaver trying to get her to chase there with the rise up at her eyes.
Tennessee trying to put the clamps down with a big hit here in the 5th. They've got the All-American at the plate. On the ground to short. Cahalan to first. Gets away from Broadfoot. Kotsogianopoulos will come in to score. 2-0 Tennessee on the air.
Kiki Malloy mishit this ball. It's another slow developing play. Kinley Cahalan comes in to get it, fields it on the backhand, but don't forget that Kiki Malloy has speed. She's going to be safe on that, even if Broadfoot doesn't catch it. But this is what has cost Alabama in conference play. It's the errors on defense and the inconsistency on that side of the ball that has cost them some games this season. And there you see it, that fielding percentage, last in the SEC, the most errors. And when your offense struggles a little bit as well, that is not a good recipe for success in this conference.
Well, Malloy took off for second on the first pitch to Pooney. Still waiting on an official scoring decision. The scoreboard says that's an error. But now the situation for Tennessee, 2 in scoring position and up 2-0. Pooney pops that up. And that's dropped as Dowling and Valentine collided.
They've got to be communicating on this foul ball. When Zeta Pooney gives you a free out, you've got to take it. And that was also the point I was going to make about Kiki Malloy. When Kiki Malloy hits one on the ground to your shortstop, you've got to come away with an out in that situation. It's like a freebie that she just gave you. And again here with Pooney hitting the foul ball.
After review, it's been determined that number 2 for Tennessee interfered with the taking of the catch. It's an out, 1 out.
So interference called after the call is changed and Mealer is out. First out of the inning, and huge for Alabama to get rid of the runner at third.
Yeah, that's a break for Alabama right there. Taking a runner out of scoring position, getting them an out.
Now after a bit of a break, back to Beaver versus Pooney. So our umpiring crew gets on the same page. And because that was a dead ball in the interference, it'll be 2-0.
And another reason that getting Mealer out right there on that interference call is that stat we see right there. When Tennessee gets 3 runs, they're 33-0.
Pooney hit that sky high. Lauren Johnson makes the catch, but an easy tag up for Kiki Malloy, and she'll stand on third.
And that would have been a sac fly right there for Zeta Pooney, looking at another run for Tennessee. But instead, they're working with Kiki Malloy on third and McKenna Gibson up at the plate with 2 outs.
Gibson 0 for 1. Had the sac fly in the first, but up until this inning was the only run of the ball game. Also a ground out back in the third. Gibson will find the gap. Malloy will score, and McKenna Gibson has the RBI single.
This rise ball from Kayla Beaver doesn't run inside enough. It stays on the plate. It's too sweet to a hitter like McKenna Gibson. And she drives that out to right center. Scores another run for the Tennessee Lady Vols. And there you see it again. They are 33-0 when scoring 3 runs. So head coach Karen Weekly has to be excited about her team.
Karen Weekly will go to a pinch hitter here against Beaver. And a swing and a miss from the junior out of Noonan, Georgia, Katie Taylor. 0 for 3 in conference play this year. Big part of a Lady Vols squad last season after Panel got hurt. Got her looking. 4th strikeout for Beaver, but it comes after a pair of runs.
It handed to them pretty heavily by their rival. But Georgia's been a good team in the SEC this year, so that's a really great win for Tim Moulton's ball club.
And Florida still within striking distance in the SEC standings, now at 13-6 in conference play. A&M off this weekend. And the Aggies will close conference play next weekend in Gainesville. And of course, both those teams chasing Tennessee up at the top. (2-1) to Lauren Johnson is fouled off.
You mentioned it, Gray, but I'm really excited for that A&M Florida series, especially at the end of the season. You know, teams have had time to get it together. You see here, Lauren Johnson taking one off her shin. That does not feel good. But again, it's the prime of the season. It's getting into May. It's right before the SEC tournament.
Lauren Johnson, a looper that's caught by Malloy. Yes, indeed, they'll say she grabbed it for out number 1.
Kiki Malloy has been a staple in center field for Tennessee because of plays like this. She gets her cleat stuck in the grass, allows it to not be as graceful as she would have wanted it, but she holds on to it, and that's got Gottschall fired up.
Another great catch by this Lady Vol outfield. The first came back in the third on that ball off the bat of Kinley Cahalan. 0 for 2.
But that right there is why Tennessee is poised for a long postseason, because they have the defense right there, a good read by Katie Taylor in left field. They have the pitching, obviously, as we've harped on, and they also have the hitting. So when you have it going on all sides of the game, and especially when you're starting to feel everything kind of work together and you're finding your groove coming into SEC tournament, that's where you want to be, and that's where this Tennessee team is. You can see they're firing on all cylinders right now.
Jenna Johnson gets hit. Johnson, top 10 in the conference in hit by pitch, and she will take her base with 2 outs.
Yeah, Jenna Johnson just standing her ground in the box, takes it off her elbow guard. Not scared to take one when you have the guard right there. Now Alabama will go to a pinch hitter.
Yeah, due up is Kendall Clark, but she has struck out twice, so Patrick Murphy will turn to the sophomore from Hartselle, Alabama, Larissa Pruitt. Second team all-conference a season ago, has struggled to get the bat rolling in conference play this year. Patrick Murphy going with the lefty against Gottschall.
I think he feels good about this matchup, especially you mentioned it, Pruitt being a lefty, and Kendall Clark just hasn't got the timing down tonight, so going with a different bat.
There's a strike, 2-1. That one clips the inner half, 2-2.
Good spot by Gottschall on that curveball into Larissa Pruitt.
That'll head out of play. Alabama tonight 0 for 7 with runners on. Had a great chance back into third. First 2 reached, but that great catch by West and left. And a couple outs quickly collected by Gottschall. Erase that opportunity. That's cued back to the circle, and Gottschall will make the throw. 2 in the inning. The Lady Vols lead by 3 runs as we go to the 6th in Tuscaloosa. Tennessee trying to claim the SEC regular season title yet again this year. But behind Tennessee, a lot of potential fluidity in the standings. You got a lot of teams somewhere between 6 and 10 conference losses. So who knows really what the bracket will look like once we get down to Auburn and postseason begins. Nugent sends that sky high. It's foul.
Sophia Nugent making an adjustment on that inside pitch, but driving it foul. But you're right, Gray. I had my eyes on that Florida and Georgia series this weekend because they were sitting at 2 and 4 in the standings and seeing what would happen there. But we already showed Florida making a big statement tonight.
Nugent sends that out to center. Cut off by Lauren Johnson, but another leadoff base hit for the Lady Vols.
Nugent was just ready to hit in this at-bat. This pitch is on the outside half. She keeps her eyes behind it, stays through it. Great extension, drives it into right center. But again, just a nice job, ready for the inside pitch, and they're ready for the outside pitch. Trying to get a leadoff on for Tennessee and add to their lead.
Taylor Pannell singled her last time up, back in the 4th. Back to the circle, and Beaver collects herself nicely. After the bobble, the bare hand throw gets the lead runner.
This is just PFP. Kayla Beaver's a good fielding pitcher. Handles the bobble, makes a good throw. Nice job to get that leadoff out.
Destiny Rodriguez takes it outside. 0 for 2 ball game for the sophomore. Off the glove of Dowling. The throw to first is wild. And Pannell will head for home, and I think, no, they'll say Valentine got.
After review, the ruling is upheld. The runner is out at home plate. That's Tennessee's first challenge of the game.
They'll say she's out. Another look.
It's a difficult call, especially with the angles we have. But again, the importance there is that she was called out in real time and there wasn't evidence to overturn it. But a break for Alabama after compounding errors.
Yeah, they'll give the error to Dowling on the throw as Katsoinopoulos steps in. And I think to your point, out on the field, nothing indisputable according to the replay crew. Broadfoot can't handle it. Ran a long way, but couldn't make the catch, and now 2 on for Tennessee.
This would have been a great play by Broadfoot, but Abby Dukeshire needs to run into the runner right there. She has a clear path to the ball. You're the defender, you have the right, and she steps around the runner, and that is what keeps her from catching that ball. It's her ball all day, and if not, there needs to be interference there.
pinch runner for Tennessee, Gabby Leach, will come in at second for Rodriguez. Officially a single for Kutsoyanopolis, so her second hit tonight. And here's Laura Mueller. Tennessee trying to bust it open, but Mueller pops it up. Valentine tracks it down. And Kayla Beaver dances out of danger. Alabama trails by 3. Four, 5, 6 due up for the Tide with Abby Dukeshire, who's 0 for 2, struck out back in the 4th. Peyton Gottschall has been really strong in the big moments. Dukeshire loop to short, but Mueller will make the play for out number 1.
Abby Dukeshire kind of cuts this ball and has some weird spin on it, allows it to hang up a little bit after that first bounce, gives Mueller time to go behind second base, make a really good play to keep Dukeshire off first base.
Now Dowling. First pitch in the air to left. And running in is Taylor. Quickly 2 gone. And you see the streak growing for Peyton Gottschall. No runs allowed in the last 24 innings she's pitched. Valentine, first pitch out to center. Malloy will retreat, and in the inning, Peyton Gottschall is a machine tonight. Second.
That's not the last time we're going to see Kayla Beaver.
Well, Torrance got the start last year for Alabama in the Women's College World Series against Tennessee, but has not pitched a ton in conference play this year. You see Beaver. She's been the workhorse. Jocelyn Brisky starting to throw a little bit more after dealing with injury for a good portion of the first month and a half of the season.
Alabama's just struggled to find that second arm to throw on Saturdays behind Kayla Beaver. And Haley McClunney, the former All-American for Alabama on Rally Cap, was talking about it, how that's been one of the difference makers for Alabama. They just haven't gotten a solidified second arm in that spot. But Jocelyn Brisky with a good game against Arkansas last weekend. I'd imagine we'll see her tomorrow. And Jayla Torrance threw well on Sunday when she came in as well. So that's what's going to allow them to go deep into the postseason if they decide, is having someone else besides Kayla Beaver to come in and throw some more innings, some quality innings. Because if not, teams only have to prepare for really one arm.
There you see the freshman Brisky in the dugout. Watching on as Torrance battles Kiki Malloy. Malloy just loops that out to center and off the glove of Lauren Johnson. And Malloy will stop at second. Johnson tried to lay out, bounced off her glove after hitting the ground. And Kiki Malloy easily has the double.
Great piece of hitting by Kiki Malloy. She was a little bit off balance, but she has such good hands, and she's able to get that ball out into right center. And as soon as it bounces off Lauren Johnson, you know Malloy's going for extra bases.
And a dangerous Zeta Pooney, who's 2 for 3, faces Torrance. Couple singles for Pooney here tonight. Tennessee 4 for 13 with runners on in this ball game. the 3-1. Pooney sends that in the air and out of play. Pooney hammers it. Goodbye. Zeta Pooney with the exclamation point. It's 5-0 Tennessee in the 7th.
Zeta Pooney has been all over it all night, seeing the ball so well. She was 2 for 3 before this, and this time she connects with the pitch right at her belt, left over the heart of the plate, and sends it over the center field wall to add to that Tennessee lead. And yeah, get a picture of that one. Zeta Pooney has had herself a night tonight, and Tennessee with the exclamation point.
12th home run of the year for Pooney, 5th in conference play. Now a 1-1 count to McKenna Gibson. And with that 2-run homer by Pooney, some history made for the Lady Vols. Kiki Malloy, who was standing on second and came in to score, now holds the record for the most career runs scored in Tennessee program history, passing the great Aubrey Leach.
It's funny, Aubrey Leach was also in that shot. She's on staff for Tennessee. Legend passing the torch to another legend. There you see Aubrey Leach, such a competitor in the college game and in the pros. Anytime you pass Aubrey Leach, you've done something.
Gibson jammed, and Torrance will make the catch herself for out number 1. Here's Katie Taylor, replaced Riley West earlier in the ball game and struck out her first time up. Tennessee tonight has done a lot of the little things right. We talked about it earlier during the defense package. They've made the hard plays in the field. They've taken the extra base. They've made the big pitches. They've gotten the big hits.
That's what the teams that win the SEC do. They not only make the plays they're supposed to make, get hits when they need them, but they do the extra stuff, and they're able to take away some extra hits, come away with the big bomb.
Taylor sends that out of play. Yeah, Tennessee started off conference play with a sweep of, at the time, a pretty hot Missouri squad. Swept South Carolina in Columbia. Collected series wins over Georgia, Mississippi State and Starkville, and last weekend against LSU. On the ground to Dukeshire. 2 gone.
You can just tell the standard for Tennessee softball has returned. They expect to win every time they step on the field. And again, it just all comes back to taking pride in the little things. They're going to beat you at every facet of the game. And that's how you win this conference in a marathon season is by continuing to do those small things right day after day after day, because you're not always going to come up with the home run. You're not always going to come up with the diving play, but when you're able to be consistent at the routine things, game in and game out, that's what allows you to come out on top at the end of the season.
0-2 to Sophia Nugent is fouled away. And considering this year, we talked earlier about the clump in the SEC standings. It's really amazing that Tennessee has won every series. That's hard to do this season with so many balanced teams, talented pitchers, offenses that have exploded time and again. But like you said, the Lady Vols have stayed consistent.
And it also goes back to recruiting and recruiting out of the transfer portal.
One of those transfers, Nugent, swings and misses.
And so it's going to be great for the teams that do get to host to stay home, but for those ones that travel, they're going to be tough as well.
Peyton Gottschall trying to slam the door against the bottom of the Alabama order. Starting off with Emma Broadfoot, who's 0 for 1 with a walk. Broadfoot to left, and Taylor is there for out number 1.
Just cannot overstate what Peyton Gottschall has done tonight. She has been so good. Typically, again, not the Friday night starter, but Weekly goes with her tonight, and she has been so good. And that's what makes it so difficult to face a team like Tennessee, because you're going to go back and regroup. But, oh, yeah, you've got Carlin Pickens tomorrow waiting on you.
I didn't ask Karen Weekly as Kristen White pinch hits in the 8th spot for Hevlin, sophomore from Phoenix City, Alabama. She lays down a nice bunt. Gibson's throw to first is not in time. Well executed by White.
Kristen White is so good at coming into the game as a pinch hitter and doing her job. It's a curveball a little bit inside. She deadens it. And when Gibson has to go that far to get it, Kristen White's going to beat that race every day.
First pitch high to Lauren Johnson. What I was about to say, as you see Johnson, 0 for 1 with a walk. There's an interesting race for Conference Pitcher of the Year this season, and it might be between Pickens and Gottschall.
You're so right. And the thing is, they're just so different at what they do, but so good. Gottschall with the spin, Carlin Pickens with the high heat, and she's added a really good changeup. But there you see it, leading the SEC in ERA and opponent batting average. She's just been stellar in this last season, and you can make an argument for either one of them, which for Karen Weekly is a tough decision every single day to decide who you're going to hand the ball to.
Johnson fouls that one back. Yeah, if you look at the numbers entering tonight, Gottschall has the edge in wins and ERA, but Pickens, at least going into this game, had thrown nearly 20 more innings, big edge in strikeouts. You see that's the overall number, which is even more even between these two. Of course, there's conference awards decided by the SEC play statistics. Gottschall adding to the resume tonight. Full count. Johnson says it hit her in the arm. William Lopez says no dice. Skied out to Malloy, who makes the catch. Quite a streak for Gottschall. No runs allowed in the last 25 innings. And she's an out away from getting a shutout here tonight.
You know, we won't be on the call the rest of the weekend, but it's most certainly going to be Pickens in the circle tomorrow. I'm so interested to see who they go with on Sunday, depending on how tomorrow's game goes. And do you go Pickens back-to-back? Do you go Gottschall again after she had such a good appearance tonight? I'm going to be excited to see that game 3 and what decision they make.
And that'll be Eric Freed and Madison Shipman the rest of the way this weekend. To Cahalan. And that strike to first, but Katsoinopoulos will step on the bag to end the ball game. A spark